I hit the floor and I didn't even know what happened in the moments just before I hit the floor. I was working, stressful job, corporate, trying to fit in, square peg in a round hole. That was me. But I did it because that's what I was programmed to do. That's what I was trained to do. You know, Caribbean parents, they always tell their kids, go to school, get your education, get a good job, and stay in it for years, and then get your retirement at 65 and enjoy whatever time you have left. And that was the path that I was on. So that day, when I came home from work, I made it home, was feeling a little lightheaded, but didn't really think anything of it. I thought, I probably forgot to eat again, so I'll have dinner when I get home, even though it was late in the evening. And then the next thing I know, I hit the floor. My boyfriend raced me to the hospital, and I was in the emergency department for hours trying to get a diagnosis as to what was going on. And what they said was that you seem normal. All of your readings seem to be normal. And then there would be a fluctuation and my blood pressure would be almost off the scale. And they didn't know why that was. And when I heard that I could possibly have high blood pressure, it just made my mind go right back to my mother and her difficulties and trying to control high blood pressure to the point where it was uncontrolled for most of her adult life. And she ended up having a devastating stroke at the age of 56. So at 56, her life was basically over. She wasn't able to do anything for herself anymore and couldn't talk, walk, feed herself, nothing at 56. And it devastated our family because my mother didn't look as if there was anything wrong with her. When you hear that high blood pressure is a silent disease, it's true. There are no warning signs because she wasn't obese. She didn't eat terribly. She ate very well because she herself was a registered nurse, so she knew about health and how health mattered. She did everything that the doctors told her to do, followed all of the steps, took all of the medications on time, did a restricted diet, all of those things, and she still had a devastating stroke at 56. And then complications and complications and complications until her eventual death. So in that moment, when I'm in the emergency room and hearing the emergency doctor telling me that I have high blood pressure, I could not believe it because I was much younger than my mother was at the time of her stroke. But it made me wonder, am I going to end up like her? And that was really hard for me to even comprehend because I'd lived a life of activity. I was always active, ate really well, did track and field, and competed, and it was my life. I never thought that I would have to hear the words high blood pressure in relation to me at the age I was. And in that moment, I realized I have to change something because I think I'm doing everything right, but something's obviously not right. And you know what it turned out to be? It turned out to be that I was not living a very healthy lifestyle the way that I thought I was. And when my mother had her stroke, I didn't know what I know now. It was after she had her stroke, and it just had me wondering, what was the missing piece? What did she not do that brought about this horrible event? And it took 3 years. The missing piece was the stress management. That's what was missing. That's what was missing from my mother and how she dealt with stress. And that is what I was affected with. And that's why I had the collapse. And that's why I ended up in the emergency room and had to figure out how to deal and manage with high blood pressure symptoms. So when I realized that stress is such an important part of healthy lifestyles, and the fact that living with stress is one thing, but you have to learn how to manage stress. And many of us don't realize how stressed we are. We react to it, but the body pays the price. The body and the mind pay the price, because what ends up happening is your body becomes inflamed because of all of the cortisol running through your veins. When cortisol is unrelenting, it starts to have an inflammatory response in your body. That can lead to high blood pressure, that can lead to kidney damage, that can lead to type 2 diabetes and high cholesterol, and even with weight that you cannot lose. It's all about stress. So when I realized that even though I was living a healthy lifestyle, the stress that I was under from the job that I hated, the difficulties of getting there with the commute and the stress and all of that, and the microaggressions that I had to deal with, especially being one of the only Black women in the entire department. It was a lot. And I thought that with having a healthy lifestyle that would be enough, but it wasn't, because it was an ongoing, everyday experience going to a job that I hated. So when I realized that sometimes you cannot change the things that you want to change, but you can change your response to them. And that's a part of healthy living as well. So I learned that, and that then led me down the rabbit hole of what else can we do to manage stress so that we can actually get the benefit from living a healthier lifestyle. So that's what it's all about. If you want to know more about how you can live a healthier lifestyle and have true freedom, because true freedom comes from health freedom. If your health is great, then you have freedom. But even if you have $1 million and your health is not good, then the only thing that you tend to think about is going to be how to get rid of the disease or the problem that you're having with your health. So let's not go down that path. Let's learn to live with health freedom, to have true freedom. If you want to know more, then comment freedom below, and I'll be happy to share with you. I'm Rosemary House, and we'll see you next time.